everybody, I'm Tom from Gordian Project. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to talk about the Joyo AC tone. But first, coffee. Love my coffee. This is what it looked like when I took her out of the box. Chapters in today's video are I can't get no satisfaction. Take a look at the manufacturer's claims and see how they hold up. What it's like. We're gonna go over the specifications. Sounds like falling rain. We're gonna hear some sound samples. Listen for the playback, baby. How does it sound in a mix? Don't go away, man. And just my final thoughts, which matter because I made the video. And let's start with, I can't get no satisfaction. Because here at Gordian Project, not only do we like quoting old songs, we like double negatives too. Let me read you guys the second paragraph of sales copy from Joyo's website. The fab tone is easy to nail with this little tone machine. Featuring endless controls, bypass wiring, and components of only the highest quality, this pedal can put in more than a hard day's work. AC30 has 6, count them 6, yes that's 6 knobs. Many combinations are possible. The pedal can make your clean sound sparkle by thickening the mid-range and adding as much top end bite as you can take or take away, while the distortion it offers is straight out of the USSR. Couple things here, Joyo. First of all, the pedal is called the AC tone. The amp it's attempting to simulate is called the AC30. So the AC tone has 6 knobs. The AC30 has more than that. Like an error like that on your ad copy on your website. Where's your quality control? Where's your proofreaders and your edit checkers? Secondly, 3 Beatles references in 1 paragraph. Really? Come on. It is a good pedal and it probably sells pretty well. But really, enough with the Beatles. Built-in speaker emulation. Here, give a little listen to a clip from the sound samples. It doesn't sound like speaker emulation to me. We'll talk about that more later. And then later after that too, because it really annoys me. It's a DI! It's not any more a DI than the American sound was a DI. Knock it off, Joyo. If you want to know why it's not a DI, go watch the video on the American sound pedal. I explain it in detail in that. Guard, link, subtle to aggressive, warm, and a natural sounding overdrive. Well, there is a pretty wide range of drive. It offers quite a bit of clean boost actually before you really get into the drive of it. It has a warm tone. I don't know if I'd use the word natural. It doesn't sound like a tube overdrive to me. It sounds like an op amp overdrive to me, which I didn't take it apart, but that's probably what it is. What it's like, brother, what it's like. It has an input and an output impedance of 1 mega ohms, which is good. That's what your good buffers on your pedal boards operate at, and that's pretty much the signal that comes out of the instrument. It's the signal strength that the amplifier is expecting to receive. So it's gonna pair up very nicely in your signal chain with that input and output. It runs at 6 milliamps. I don't know if you care about that, but if you do, it runs at 6 milliamps. You can power it with a 9-volt battery or a 9-volt center ground adapter. It's true bypass, which is nice because I hate it when my pedals have false bypass and they sit here clicking them on and off and the sound doesn't change. It has 6, count them 6, yes, that's 6 knobs. It has an on-off foot switch, which is awesome because if it didn't, it wouldn't be a pedal. Dimensions, 4 3/4 inches or 150 millimeters high, 3 3/4 inches or 97 millimeters wide, 2 1/8 inches or 55 millimeters high, and that's counting the foot switch and the knobs and stuff. It weighs 13 3/4 ounces or 390 grams. Sounds like falling rain. Let's hear some sound samples. Control is very responsive. It's not as bad as the American sound. It did not peak my stuff, but it should be called a volume, not a level. It's too responsive to be calling it a level. The low knob gives you about 5 dB of booster cuts, centered right around 500 hertz, and it's got a pretty wide cube, but it's a little more narrow than it was on the American sound. The mid knob is almost exactly the same as the low knob, which I guess makes sense since Vox amps don't have any mid knobs on them. They only have a high and a low and a tone cut. So it does seem to be a 5 plus minus at about 600 hertz instead of 500. So it's a little different than what you get out of the low knob. The high knob is about a 5 dB boost cut with actually, for these pedals, a really tight Q right around 1K. The voice knob sounds like a presence control to me, which doesn't make any sense because a Vox doesn't have a presence control. I would have really preferred that they do away with the voice knob and put a tone cut in, because the Vox has a tone cut. While we're changing the pedal, let's also put a switch on it for top boost and normal that would drop the high and the low EQ out. The drive knob does exactly what you'd expect the drive knob to do. Listen for the playback, baby! Here it is in the mix. Just like we witnessed with the American sound, if I pushed more volume through the pedal, it doesn't cause it to break up more. If you're simulating a tube amp, you've got to simulate this. The way they break up when you push them is one of the major defining characteristics of a tube amp. If you miss that, you have not simulated the amp. I had to add reverb and tremolo in post. The AC30, 15, and 10 all have them, but this pedal does not. I'm gonna try and make this very simple for you, Joyo. If an amp does 3 things and you want to simulate that amp, you need to simulate all 3 things, not just one of them. Was that slow enough for you, Joyo? Don't go away mad, baby. The EQ settings on the tone knobs have a really wide Q. That's okay, they do on a Vox as well. They also have rather large dB adjustments. Also okay, also similar to what you'll experience on a real Vox. The reason I mention these is if you're adjusting the tone knobs on this, small, slow changes. Don't just go ripping that thing around like you might on some other pedals. The level knob is far too responsive for a pedal. It should have about half that much response to it. It makes it very difficult to level match if you're using it as a pedal and not as an amp stem. If it had half the response it does, it would still give you plenty of boost when you wanted to use it like an amp stem, but you'd be able to level match much more easily. I'm not sure what the voice knob is supposed to do, but it really sounds like a presence control to me. And that doesn't make any sense because Voxes don't have a presence control. You really should have just made this simulate the tone cut. As an amp stem, they missed the mark. This pedal is not an amp stem. As an overdrive pedal, this pedal is awesome. And if you like a bunch of different flavors of drive on your board or at your fingertips when you're recording, go ahead and grab one of these. They're 40 bucks. It's a pretty unique distortion pedal, a pretty unique overdrive pedal, and it sounds good. Do not expect this pedal to replace your Vox amp. As a rule of thumb, don't expect a $40 pedal to replace an $800 amp. Oh, thanks all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring my bell, baby. Till next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and God bless. Have a great time, everybody.